What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Rage. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung DeX Station. Now this puck looking little device is basically to turn your S8 or your S8 Plus into a fully fledged desktop PC. It's got all the I/O you need, all the charging and everything else. So let's take a look and see what this is all about. Alright, so here you go. It's a slightly different box to the US version, and that's because it doesn't include an extra power brick and USB Type-C cable, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's slightly cheaper here in the UK. You get your quick start guide and obviously the Samsung DeX itself. And first impressions, it seems pretty good. It's got a nice little bit of weight to it, and on the bottom half of it, it's got a nice rubber material just to keep it steady on any desk or surface you want to use. As you flip it up, you can see the USB Type-C is ready for either your S8 or your S8 Plus. And obviously in future, other phones will probably be supported on this device as well. On the rear, you've got two USB 2.0 ports and an Ethernet port for a hardline connection. You've got your HDMI and your USB Type-C. Now this actually supports 4K as well, UHD 4K. And on the desk, it looks pretty good. It blends in really nicely. Obviously, all the time you have to have a Type-C and the HDMI plugged into it for it to work. Unfortunately, there's no video output through the Type-C at the moment, but you know, it's not too bad. And for things like mice and keyboards, put in a wireless receiver for those. You don't have to have a keyboard. There is an on-screen keyboard, but it does make the experience a lot easier. So once you place the phone into the port, it will get you to log in depending on what security you've got built onto the phone, whether it's your iris, a passcode, a PIN number, whatever. There is that level of security still to stop anyone getting into your phone. So once you're in, follow the on-screen instructions, and it will guide you through setting up your screen and everything else, just so that you get the best picture available. So in the bottom left are actually all of your icons that all your apps that you've got open on the phone currently. So basically all this is a different UI for everything that's going on your phone at that particular time. So as you can see, you can load up the Google Play and resize it to the window you like. Bottom left, you've got this sort of start screen which displays all of your apps available, and also it says apps for the DeX there. It's a very limited number of apps you can use. Microsoft have clearly sort of dominated this market, so if you do have a Microsoft Word account or anything like that, then this really will be quite useful for you. But for me, things like YouTube will be a main sort of feature, really. Just being able to easily navigate around, and I noticed it would be nice if you could click Windows sort of to the top or to the side to get it to do full screen like you do on a Windows system, but you obviously just have to click the maximize button instead, which is no real drama. But once you're in there, everything does feel pretty snappy, so much so that I thought I'd load up a couple of games, and a couple of them crashed, but then a couple of them worked all right. You've got to think the phone is running a full desktop with a full sort of heavy game in the background, and everything is trying to manage everything else. So this isn't designed to be your alternative gaming PC solution. There's plenty of things to choose from in terms of settings. You've got your mouse speed, your keyboard type, desktop wallpapers, text to speech, all your language settings. It's all in there. It's nothing too complicated, but to get that perfect setup for every time you plug it in, everything's ready for you to go. It really is pretty simple to navigate around. There's not a massive selection of wallpapers, but just download them, do yourself a little Google search, and you'll be good to go. On the rear, you can see there's a little speaker grill there, and also it will keep the phone cool while it's charging. I did find after some use, it did overheat a touch, and you could hear the fan kicking in, so it does keep the whole unit cool for you. But overall, I really like the the view and the desktop and all the icons, it just seems really easy to use. It all seems very familiar, you know, coming from a Windows user to plugging this in, you just felt like it's slightly different UI to what we're used to. And especially on that bottom right there, you get all your icons that you normally see on your phone, so you can sort of see what's going on at a glance, and you can open up any sort of application that you normally would on your phone, whether it's your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your gallery, you know, all of that sort of good stuff. And as for the word processing, it actually seems spot on. You can't knock it, you really can't. As long as you've got your wireless keyboard set up or anything like that, it really will do the trick. And this is great for if you're traveling, going away, or just want to do something really simple at home and you can't afford to, you know, get that full desktop PC or anything like that. You know, this is great for just browsing and doing sort of all sorts of bits and bobs. So the DeX comes in at 115 UK and anywhere between 130 and 170 US. Now this depends on whether you get the international version, which I presume is the one I've got, where you don't get the extra power brick and USB-C cable. So have a look, see what you really need. If you don't really need the extra cable and plug, then just go for the international version at $130. But again, like I said, it's 115 UK. Now, is it worth it? Well, it depends on your needs. I think if you're a traveling person and you keep your life on your phone, you know, your calendar, your memos, your notes, just absolutely everything on your phone, and you know, you get back to the hotel and you just want to be able to, you know, get this out of the bag with just 2 cables, plug it in, job done. You know, you've got everything in one place. It's just a no-brainer instead of carrying the laptop, or maybe you just don't want to use the laptop all the time for everything. When you've got everything already on your phone and you don't want to transfer it all over, you can do all the things in one place. It's always on you. But for myself, it has to go back. I've got a protective case on my S8 Plus after smashing it, and to get this into the DeX, I have to take the case off, put it in there, and it's too much hassle, and it's just not worth the extra time, especially when I can just stream things or cast them to a TV anyway, you know, whether it's the media or something like that. And obviously I've got my laptop, my PC, I've got everything else. You know, if you've got all them things, there's no real place for the DeX. But overall, the build quality is really good. It would have been nice to see wireless charging put on the top plate, so you could just place your phone on top when you don't want to use it as the sort of the go-between for the PC bit. You know, it wouldn't have been hard to turn that into a wireless charger as well. You know, especially with the design, it would have looked pretty good. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 based on the price. It's not cheap, it's very limited. It's for S8 and S8 Plus users, and maybe in the future, you know, maybe the Note series, obviously they're going to have Type-C as well. I'm sure it will support those, but it's very limited. There's not much you can do. The performance, yes, is very snappy, it's very good, it's good at what it's designed to do, but again, very limited market, and it's not for me. Okay, so that's it for the Samsung DeX. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.